So inside our kit, we get a blanking plate. So this is going to replace where the old oil filter was. Then we've got lines basically to run everything together, including to the oil cooler, which is up there. And then we've got a new kind of relocation plate for the oil filter, which we're going to screw our oil filter into, and a couple of brackets, everything like that to mount it all up. And obviously with that, we're going to be changing over to a K&N Performance Gold oil filter. Just to upgrade the oil filter. These are slightly freer flowing, everything like that, so that's going to completely upgrade and overhaul our oil filter. So we're going to start off by removing the bumper. So first we're going to remove both the turn signal lights. So now we've got 6 10mm bolts holding it in at the top.
Now you want to jack up the car on both sides and proceed to take off both the front wheels in order to access the underside of the bumper, which is where the bumper is held in for the final mounting points. So we're going to jack up the car, put it on axle stands and take off the wheels, and after the wheels are off we can go ahead and remove the bumper.
So now we're going to go ahead and remove the entire fender lining. Just first give the car a shake. And check the jack stands again, she's going nowhere. Back and just like hook that out of the way so we can get inside the fender lining. And then we've got 2 bolts. There's one there in the top left corner and there's another one just below it, which I can't seem to pick up on my camera. Oh, there we go, those 2 bolts just up there in the top left corner. We've got to remove both of those, and there's also a clip down here at the bottom which is right there. Take off both of those and then this side of the bumper will be loose. Then we're going to have to go ahead and do that on the other side as well. So basically, now we've taken the front bumper off, there's 4 14mm bolts holding this on top. I don't know if there's any on the bottom. Oh yeah, and 4 on the bottom as well. So we're going to take those all out, and then the oil filter and the oil cooler is going to basically replace there, and it's going to be in the front bumper. So let's go ahead and take these out. So we're going to mount the oil cooler somewhere like that basically. So what I'm going to do is I've got 2 of these which I'm going to have to modify slightly. So 2 L brackets, and we're going to basically attach them onto, let me just line these up, attach them onto the top just like that, and then basically these are going to be bent at a 90-degree angle right along here, which is going to allow me to connect it onto the front bumper, just onto this bit here. So drill 2 holes through there and then bolt it straight into that. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So we just bend it down like that into that shape, so I'm going to go ahead and do the other one now. After marking out both the holes, we're going to hole punch both of them so the drill bit doesn't slip around and we get them in the perfect place. Now that's pretty sturdy. As you can see, it is wobbling a little bit, so we're just going to whack some zip ties through there to the top of the intercooler mouths because they're literally perfectly level. and that will hold it in place and it'll stop it from jiggling around a bit when we're driving, because it might make a noise like that, which wouldn't be great. What we might actually do is put some sort of like rubber mat down in here, just almost like, I'll just show you an example of, not this one, but just to stop it from vibrating, which would actually be useful. So yeah, I'm probably going to do that as well. And that is not going absolutely anywhere. Nice and sturdy, no rattles, it's no noise, so that's perfect. So that's installed. Now we're going to do the oil filter relocation, which I've got in a box over here. So that's the oil filter relocation kit, the new oil filter, and all of the AN fittings to join it all up to the oil cooler on the front. So first of all, we're going to fit this bad boy. So this is this is the new, where the new oil filter is going to go, and we've got a little bracket which comes with it to attach that on right here. So we're going to go ahead and find somewhere nice to attach that, which is easily accessible. So I've now attached on both AN fittings to the bottom of the oil cooler, just like that. It's going to look pretty awesome in the mouth, just by the intercooler as well. And they're routed, this one's routed through here, when it focuses, there it is, and then up through by the headlight cover. Just going to have to attach that in place here, just to ensure it doesn't rub on this when this is going up and down and break it. But they go both into the engine bay. And we've got our other one, which is coming right under there, through there, and then up through there into the engine bay. Just like that. So yeah, you can see them both from this angle. But I'm thinking of attaching the oil filter right here, because it's already one bolt pre-drilled. This one needs to be moved across slightly, just drill another bolt there. And that should work quite nicely. And then it's a lot easier to service as well. So it's going to be somewhere which I can access pretty easily. But yeah, I want to do a bit of test fitting off that, see if it works, and then yeah, we'll go from there. I've got the new oil filter relocation bit. So I'm going to open up our K&N Performance Gold oil filter thing, and okay, I'm going to need a thread to put that on. So yeah, now we've got a thread on there, we can just attach this on. So now we've got where the oil filter is going to go after a lot of thinking. Just going to hole punch where we're going to drill our little mounting holes. So now the new oil filter is completely installed, all of the AN lines are run, apart from the two going down to where the old oil filter was. So what we're going to do now is we're going to install the final part, which is the oil filter for the old oil filter. It's like a blanking plate, so that's going to attach in. And then we've got two AN lines just to attach the two last AN lines to, tighten everything down, and then yeah, we can test if it works, see if we've still got oil pressure within the system when we turn on the car. So now we're going to use a pair of these. These are oil filter removal pliers. They've got three different settings. Put them in the middle like that. Depending on the size of the oil filter, I think we'll go for the smallest one. Because the oil filter, like you can see, is pretty small, so that should do the job nicely. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and try to unscrew this filter. So guys, that's what I've been doing. I couldn't actually I couldn't even film this at all, because this is the only camera angle where you can see it, and my hands were right in there trying to tighten it all up for like 20 minutes. This was by far probably the hardest part, just because there's so limited access to there. Just to get those AN lines to screw in well was an absolute nightmare, but we finally got them in. I'm going to need a slightly bigger spanner to tighten all of these up, so I can't run the car until I've gone to Halfords and got a bigger spanner. I've tried a 22mm and that's not fitting on the AN10 lines, so yeah, I'll have to see probably a 24, I reckon. But yeah, we've got to just tighten everything up, and then basically it's completely installed and you can start the car. So just to give an overview of everything I've done, if we look just down there you can see where they're going into the bit I've just showed you. But I've got one going straight up to the oil filter, then one from the oil filter which goes all the way around to the front, which is the oil cooler, which is here. It's just covered up because I didn't want it to get wet, because it's just literally rained a second ago. And then from the oil cooler goes right back out into the block. So it's a complete system, it just runs through this rather than running through the stock filter. it's got a bit more, I guess, to go through, so I might have to top it up a bit of extra oil. I better do some research into if I need to fill it up with more oil than usual. I guess so, but we'll have to find out. But yeah, that's pretty much everything. Just make sure you tighten them all up very tight before you go to start the car, because you don't want any oil leaks. And then what you're going to do is you're going to turn the car on, let it run for 10-15 minutes to let the oil start circulating throughout the engine, and then you'll be able to know if there are any oil leaks. If there are, tighten them up even tighter, and if that still doesn't work, I advise using some blue thread locker just to tighten that up. You'll still be able to undo that with regular hand tools. So guys, third episode of the turbo build. Everything's coming along really nicely. Really like how that turned out. It looks really clean. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a couple of cinematic shots within the engine bay so you can fully see all of that, and I'm going to insert them now. Watching guys, be sure to give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed the series so far, and if you enjoyed this install. This is probably one of the more difficult ones, just because of the access to the oil filter location. Just getting everything screwed in there and getting everything to fit nicely through the engine bay, looking neat. So I wouldn't say it's difficult, it's just a lot more time consuming. So thanks for watching guys, be sure to give me a thumbs up, subscribe down below. What we're going to be doing in the next episode is doing the intercooler piping, from the intercooler to the throttle body, and from the hot side up to roughly where the turbo is going to be. But yeah, until the next one guys, adios.